Fab. Okay, so this has been a bit of a popular question as well. So I'm just going to talk you guys through the roles that you can use within going back to lessons, whether that's an assistant teacher, whether that's a family member. So I'm going to take you through a little bit of this now. So your assistant teacher still has a role. We're automatically going into panic mode of going, oh my goodness, now assistant teachers can't be in the water. They can be in the water as long as they adhere to that social distancing. So actually, can we have that assistant teacher on the poolside, welcoming our swimmers and supervising them to their learning area? Maybe you've had to revise your teaching setup, and maybe the children won't be going back to their original pod that they were swimming in before COVID. They can also register the swimmers. They can assist with communication to parents, guardians, carers. They can definitely help with the setup, the clean down, and the setting down of equipment and the pooling ropes. They can obviously assist with the organisational methods as well. If you're based on one side, they can cover the other side of that teaching space as well, which just gives you clearer communication. They can assist parents who may be in the water supporting, which I will touch on a little bit more in a second. They can assist with activities and teaching practices. They can reinforce that social distancing through with activities and the cleaning of equipment. And they can assist with behaviour management as well. So there are still a lot of roles that you can use your assistant teacher for. So alongside your assistant teacher, we've also got parents, family members, guardians, carers, and I know I've answered quite a few questions in the chat box today, but actually let's look at each group, what their needs are, and if they do require additional support in the water. Because if they do, can we approach that parent, can we approach that family member and get them in the water and get them to offer that extra manual or moral support for that swimmer? You may need to revise teaching stations for this, consider a larger area, just for ease and just for comfort. Remember that that child and that parent are one unit, so when you're looking at your spacing that you need to allow, they come together, and that parent is only assisting their child, no other children. Work with the teaching team, discuss the needs of the groups and the individuals, and this will definitely come down to SEND groups as well, and actually looking at maybe a phased approach. Maybe there will be some groups that can come back a lot sooner than other groups, and that's absolutely fine. I think I answered a question earlier on in the chat where actually I said it's going to be a case-by-case scenario. You're going to have a look at it and have that discussion. These can all be monitored and reviewed. So if something isn't working, don't give up. Review it and try something different. Consider different delivery methods. Alex has taken you through a whole host of using those verbal and non-verbal cues today. We've also mentioned the pre-lesson walkthrough, which may just ease those worried swimmers back into the pool a little bit safer. All parents must be aware of the fact that they are to follow the instructions of the level 2 swimming teacher at all times. So here's a few things that I wanted to address today as we're talking about effective communication and how we're now going to work with parents or family support in the water. So inform parents of the support that you may require as a swimming teacher before, during and after the lesson. So ask yourself, what is the role of the parent? So before, get ready for the lesson and apply any flotation equipment needed. During, they need to be able to provide appropriate manual and moral support. After, remove any flotation equipment and make sure it's returned. Just some thought starters down there as well. How can you communicate this beyond just a conversation and that verbal communication? So you could use photos, you could use videos. How does that parent apply that shark fin or those arm discs? Use social media as well and push those videos out so that you can really get this messaging out to those parents before they're returning to the poolside. Even if, again, you took simple photos and had them laminated up on the wall from, maybe you have a starting point where, yes, again, you allow for that social distancing, but each parent and child comes in, picks up that flotation aid, and there's just those prompts on the wall of what you need that parent to do and how to apply that flotation aid correctly. So just continuing on a little bit more, think about how to instruct the parent to apply that flotation equipment to their child. We've just touched on this. So again, make sure that you're encouraging them to bring their own flotation equipment. This is going to help ease that congestion as well and minimize it as much as possible. If they're already coming in and they already have a shark fin, that child's going to know how it goes on, that parent's going to know how it goes on, and actually it's going to minimize that requirement for clean down as well and changeover. Again, pop in those pick up and drop off points for any flotation equipment and reinforce your messaging through posters, images, and any videos that you may have. So how would you communicate with a parent who is supporting a swimmer in the water? Keep those instructions simple. They may not be as confident in the water. Remember to break down those teaching points for the swimmers, and also then break down those points that you need that parent to apply or to encourage with that child. They're going to need to be directed on how to support their child correctly. So have a look at the image down in the bottom of these slides as we're going through. Something as simple and as clear as this, that again is printed off and laminated, can just be held up. And it's nice and clear so that the parents are learning and they know what appropriate support is needed. You can also, again, use demonstrations and videos such as our expected standards videos. So we've got a few advantages and disadvantages here. Let's just run through these and then we will jump onto some questions. So advantages, you can support very young or participants with any SEND who are finding it difficult to understand verbal or non-verbal communication methods. Now, I would say don't get hung up on thinking that you have to put parents in the water. Assess your group's needs. And it's not just the young, you may have an older group as well that require that additional support. Again, take it case by case. Can be used as a last resort when other communication methods have failed, and can be used by a parent in the water giving minimal support. This must be overseen by the level 2 swimming teacher. The disadvantages we have here are a possibility of causing injury by manipulating a part of the body incorrectly or inappropriately, does not provide that muscle memory and intrinsic feedback of the correct action, can also cause embarrassment or invade personal space. So when we're thinking about having this parent, this family member, this supporter in the water, let's not forget about adult beginners either. They may also require somebody in the water. So think about that causing them embarrassment or invading their personal space. It really needs to be their decision. And this can be used to disguise abuse to participants. So keep in mind that safeguarding element as well. We have had it cleared by our safeguarding officer that no parents going into the water require a DBS. They are there just to support their own child through that lesson.